Hello YouTube friends, I'm here with I guess it's a project share. It actually has a story attached to it, that's why I decided to do a video. It's about my mail art, but normally I let the hostess of YPP mail art do the showing off of my mail art. Hi Candace! But since this had kind of a story attached to it, I thought I'd go ahead and do a video. What you guys are looking at is actually a class model that I had done at my scrapbook store in Defiance, Ohio, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1999 through 2001. It's very old. It's beaten up. The paper is not looking too pretty, but cleaning out my craft room, which y'all have seen, I found this, and it gave me an idea for my mail art. And the reason we had done this was we used to carry more punches than just about any stores around us. There were about 3 stores in Toledo, and anyway, we brought in all these punches, and in order to try to sell lots and lots of punches, I made this model, and trying to cut them apart and do different things with them. I thought maybe I would show it in case people have, these little old punches that they just don't care about or don't use anymore, because there's a lot of pieces, parts that you can use off of, different punches that made these snowflakes, because our mail art this month was winter, or actually it was winter or New Year's. But anyway, so I just wanted to show this, and I'm going to kind of get a little closer so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. This snowflake right here, this large snowflake, is actually, there's little, right here, little tiny snowflakes, and I'm using my camera, not my husband's camera, so it doesn't focus as well. Let me see if I can back it up just a little bit. No, I can't. Anyways, there's a little snowflake here on the end. This and this and this are actually off of a large snowflake, which I'm going to show you right here. I don't know if you guys can tell. What I had done was I cut the little arms off, and then this is the center, which was the middle piece that was left, and I punched a little hole in the middle. And then here we have, it's like a teardrop punch that I used a diamond. I know you guys can't see this, it's not focusing very good, but I punched a diamond in the center. Then there's a little star, and this is actually a little tiny piece out of a border punch. But anyway, so you put all those little pieces together and you get a snowflake. And then there's some smaller ones here that I was messing with the pieces. This was actually a flower. Started out as a large, kind of a large jumbo flower, and I just started kind of using just different punches to punch things out of it. Instead of putting the pieces together, these are actually the the holes from the negative. And then here's another one I did in iridescent paper. I don't know if you can see, I punched the diamond. I have a little tiny diamond, it actually took little snippets out of there. And then here's another one. Let me get above it so you can see. Kind of covering up the light there a little bit. There we go. And there's that large snowflake again. I don't know if you can see in the center, there's a little tiny cross punch, and there's some diamonds. And when you put them all together, it makes a large snowflake. And then that one's actually a large jumbo star punch. And I just snipped with that same diamond punch, little snips out around the edges. And now this one is kind of cool because I used, it's actually a corner punch. I don't know if you guys can see that. It punches this shape here. The piece that I used right here is the piece, part of the piece that falls off. So there's a piece that falls off, and I cut them, and then I pieced them, you can see I pieced them together to form the outside of the snowflake. And then there's some little heart punches and some little diamonds, some little circles, fleur-de-lis. When you put it together, it made a snowflake. And there's another one of the small ones that was the flower. It's like a scallop flower, I guess. And I punched a snowflake in the center. I wish this was focusing better so you guys could see this. But there's actually a little tiny sun, little bitty sun punch right there. And so that's what inspired my mail art. And I'll show you my mail art real quick. This is the front. Let me see if I can get up here. Oops, sorry guys. So there they are, and they're all different. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'll kind of zoom in a little bit. But I just have the best time with my punches, and I have so many small punches. You know, most of us don't use that kind of stuff anymore. It's just, you got your Cricut and you got all that other stuff. But this is actually another different type of snowflake. Let me show you over here. Right here, this is what this one looks like, the second one. And I just cut snowflakes. I cut part of them off, and I stuck them on top of that teardrop, which I punched a diamond in. And then here's little pieces again off of that other snowflake that I showed you. This one over here, this big one, that one. These are just pieces off of it. And there's part of the center. I didn't cut it all the way down like I did the other one. I left a little bit of it on. And then in between there's little stars and little triangles. There's different stuff on that one. And this one has some fleur-de-lis in the center. There's actually like a little medallion punch. And there's a diamond. And then I just stacked some different size snowflakes. Different size. There's a little flower. So that compiles that one, just different types of punches. And then here's another one using that same corner punch, and I pieced it in a different way, and I added some other pieces to this, and I used it twice on this one. I used part of it where I cut it like I did the other one, and then here's the other side of it. This is what it looks like if you were going to punch your, you know, your mat or whatever. You guys can kind of tell what all's in there. There's some hearts and some little tiny squares and some snowflakes. Then here's this one. It's got the same teardrop. I just didn't do anything to it. And there's some fleur-de-lis and some different sized snowflakes. And they're kind of all pieced together. And yes, this does take a while, you guys. I kind of play with it. I'll punch a bunch of pieces that I think I'm going to use, and then I'm going to start laying them out kind of in a circular pattern, and then I build off of them, seeing how I like, you know, if it looks like a snowflake. And I went around these with the Stardust Jelly Roll pen just to kind of give them a little bit of sparkle. But this one's actually got butterflies in it. I don't know if you guys can see the butterfly. There's a couple of the different size snowflakes. I really like using snowflakes, and I have a lot of those punches, so there's that. And here's this one. And it's very lacy. It almost looks like Queen Anne's lace. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It grows like a weed in Ohio, but it's actually a wildflower. It's got some of these little, these are EK Success off of, they're actually out of a border. And there's some leaves. Those are little EK Success, the little thumb punches. And just, you know, different shapes. So I think they're pretty good. I think they're pretty cool, and they're really fun. I really enjoy doing it. And if anybody's interested, I could probably do a tutorial. It's not very hard. You just have to kind of, you know, pick your punches that you want to use, and then find different ways to cut them up and put them back together again. But anyway, y'all come and see us at your Paper Pantry for the mail art swap, or lots of other swaps. And thanks for watching. Leave your comments.